Abusia ye mamu nyina akwa ba de ba Kojo Ghana TV so. Ene Alan Kojo Chamatin aforme ono ankasa ne party emudit na de bro. Mo obabo modern say obeso so obedi president and our political party na be winning. And a Council of States member. New party just a Council of States who here more details me and to us.
Of the process, and it has to be engineered because otherwise those with power will exclude you. So the United Party has made proposals for constitutional change that will engineer inclusion and bring all of us on board, which will sit there soon when they are taking decisions about borrowing part in those decision makings. So we are saying that the first problem is winner takes all. Why and how is the winner takes all coming up? The Constitution has an article 63.4 and 63.5 which says that whenever there is an election you must get 50 plus 1% before you win, correct? And that if nobody gets 50 plus 1 there must be a runoff. So when you have an election there's a runoff. What happens? Other parties collect their support and their vote and go and deliver 50 plus 1, after which they will go into government alone and leave the people who help them, and then they will go and get strong and powerful and fat in government, and smaller parties struggle. And who are in the smaller parties? The people who can really contribute, because the two parties you can't enter. So many people who can contribute are left out of the cycle. You just can't enter. There's monocracy, there's mafia, there's manipulation. You just can't enter. So if you have the brains and you are in a smaller party, as long as Article 63, 4, and 5 are there, it will only continue to empower the bigger parties. So UP is saying that we have presented the Constitution review to amend Article 63, 4, and 5 and remove the requirement for runoff. So that if we have an election, on the first ballot, you are successful, you get 50 plus 1, happy birthday, you are in charge of the government. But if you get 47%, we will not go for a runoff. Parties to yours until you get 50 plus 1. It's called power sharing. That is what will empower smaller parties. So if the review commission puts that before you and all of you vote for it, what it means is that in the next government, the UP will be sharing power, whichever government didn't get 50 plus 1. And once you are in government, that is when you can contribute the positive policies that will transform the lives of the people who believe in the leadership. As I said, a leadership we can trust. The second major intervention we are asking of the Constitution Review Commission is to abolish the Council of State. As it is, we don't think it's serving the interests of Ghanaians. We want to replace it with a second chamber made up of all of us, non-political people. So we want a council, a second chamber where there will be farmers, there will be fishermen, there will be traders, there will be artisans, there will be drivers, there will be nurses, there will be doctors, there will be academics, there will be students, there will be religious leaders, everybody else. So that together from Parliament, the things will come to the second chamber, and we too, we can have a look to see what is going on without having to go on a political platform to be elected. It is very well structured, and it will bring everybody on board decision making in Ghana. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the United Party may be new because we got our certificate 3rd October 2025. But we are old because our values are old. Our philosophy is strong, proven and tested as a centrist party, operating from the center, and our understanding of governance is deep because the leadership have amongst them decades and decades and decades of experience in governance, as has been told you. So, UP, our values include decentralization, believe in the private sector. That's why I want to build an enterprise economy and investment in nation building. We will provide transformational leadership. Through UP, Ghana will be transformed by Ghanaians for the benefit of Ghanaians. Ghana will rise again. Thank you.
We can do better. UP. 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 My interim chairman made reference to
All right, Abusia, nti yebeti ne owura Alan Kojo Samati ankasa kan nti Mr. Bomodi ana yaso niti owura Alan Cash ne nsema odi tudwa. Ahaya Kojo Ghana TV, Mr. Oba na wan subscribe na wan share.
As you've been told, and remarks by our interim national chairman and then our interim general secretary. I don't think I really need to feed you again with another speech, else you may run into indigestion. But today we are ushering a new era, a new dawn in Ghanaian politics, a new dawn that will end the divisiveness, acrimony, and rancor in politics in Ghana. A new dawn that will also end the duopoly in Ghanaian politics by offering Ghanaians a credible alternative and eliminate the culture of winner takes all. A new dawn that will bring about economic transformation which will translate into massive job opportunities, usher in a golden age of business, and also create prosperity for our country, Ghana. A new dawn that will mobilize the collective strengths and talents of all Ghanaians for national development, irrespective of age, ethnicity, religion, or political affiliation. A new dawn that will promote accountable and transparent governance and introduce a policy of zero tolerance for corruption. A new dawn that will at least protect the environment and promote sustainable development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is what underpins the establishment of the United Party. The UP, as you've been told, is a broad-based, and every word here is pregnant with meaning. The UP is a broad-based, that's number one. It is a center or centrist party, too. And then it seeks to build a united Ghana. And number four, accelerate the economic and social transformation of our country. Number six, by mobilizing all of us as an army, then we are marching on half strength. Because some of our best talents have been excluded from governance and from politics because of the nature and character of our politics. And I want to introduce a new culture of politics in Ghana. It is not enough for people to keep on saying that that's how politics is. No, that's not how politics is. We Ghanaians are decent people and want to make sure that we bring decency in into our politics. This is what we are looking for as the United Party. But what is our vision? I'm not even sure what our two big parties, what their vision is. I've not quite heard them articulating their vision. You see, what a vision does is to articulate the aspiration. What is the overarching goal that you are looking for? How are people going to measure you? So if you say that my vision is to become the richest man, then that is your aspiration. That is your goal. And so if by the certain date you are not the richest man, it means you have failed. So articulating a vision is very important. And this is a fundamental problem in Ghana. Do you recall any party that has articulated to you a clear, concise vision by which we can measure their performance? We want to change the dynamics. The vision of the United Party is to make Ghana the economic powerhouse of Africa by 2040. By 2040. And that is what we call Vision 2040. And we are branding this as the Paradise Project. So by 2040, if the people of Ghana, by the grace of God, install us in power, then we promise them that by 2040, Ghana will become a paradise. Now, you may articulate your vision, but what is it that you are going to do to realize your vision? That is what your mission is. And our mission as a party is to build one, a united, peaceful, secure, and prosperous country. Can you become the economic powerhouse of Africa if you are divided? Can you become the economic powerhouse of Africa if there's no peace in your country? Can you become the powerhouse if you are not secure as a nation? No. And this, together with prosperity, is what would make us the economic powerhouse. And also, our mission is to provide equal opportunity for all Ghanaians, not for some, but for all Ghanaians. What we have been witnessing since independence is that the opportunities are open for only a few people. The United Party is going to change that dynamics in Ghanaian politics. And it is to provide the opportunity for every Ghanaian to realize their full potential. If you want to become a carpenter, want to become the best carpenter in Ghana. If you are an electrician, we want you to become the best electrician. If you are a doctor, we want you to excel and become the best doctor in Africa by 2040. And the icing on the cake is that we want particularly the youth and the women and the vulnerable of our society. We want to focus on them. Ladies and gentlemen, the soul and strength of every political organization is anchored on its values. You are nobody. You will become rich, but then if you don't have values, then nobody respects you. And so we want to promote integrity and ethical leadership at all levels of our national endeavor. It's not just for the president. Ethical leadership and integrity is not just for the president. If you are a constituency chairman, you are a leader. And so you have to exhibit ethical leadership. Chairman, are you not the leader of your police station? So we want you to exhibit that kind of leadership. Number two, we want to introduce a culture of discipline in all aspects of national life. We are very indisciplined. If a function is supposed to start at 10, they assume that everybody will be late. So we should come at 11 o'clock. Now, if you go to Germany, right from the time where you go to kindergarten, they let you understand that if school starts at 7 o'clock, by 5 to 7, you are hovering around. 7 o'clock, they drop you off. Not 7:30 or 8 o'clock. We need to introduce discipline. 3, we want to ensure that we enforce laws and order. We don't respect laws and order in our country. And our core value is to enforce the laws and order in our country. Number 4, we want to promote meritocracy. Sometimes you wonder, so how did this man get into this position? How? And somehow he has maneuvered to become a big man in society. That is not merit. Even in our homes, if you strive for excellence, that's what hard you to do. Is that not our culture here? No, but how can you become the economic powerhouse of Africa if you don't have a passion for excellence? Look at all the great countries of this world. And I don't want to mention names. It is clear that people strive for excellence. In Ghana, is that our culture? And people celebrate it, you know. But the UP is going to introduce a new culture. Now, ensure tolerance for diversity of opinions and introduce decent language in our public discourse. That is one of our core values. Are you happy with the kind of language that we use in our media and on the air? Are you happy with that? Because nobody has shown us and given us direction that it is not right to be insulting people just because you have a different opinion. Number 6, we want to instill patriotism amongst Ghanaians at all times and promote the interests of Ghana and not your individual interests. In Ghana, everybody is protecting their own interests. So how can you develop as a nation? You've forgotten about the interests of Ghana. Number 8, we want to promote free speech and freedom of association. This is one of the core values of the old UP. That is why we are talking about UP. But it is UP plus, because we've gone beyond even the values of the old UP. We want to fight against dictatorship, oppression, and subversion of human rights. I think it speaks for itself. If your husband is oppressing you in the house, is this something that you should be proud of? Or if your wife is oppressing you, now the men are saying, they say, "Out in the council." So when you go to work and you cannot give off your best, check what is happening at home. Somebody is being oppressed, either the man or the woman. So you cannot give off your best. Fellow countrymen and women, as you've been told by earlier speakers, my colleagues, the formation of the United Party is a transition from the movement for change. Look, just look back. With only 9 months in this country, with a movement of change, people were fighting to death to get our t-shirts. Is that not something that you should be reflecting on? We didn't have money to pay to anybody. The big parties were there distributing money and nobody was taking their t-shirts. But people were fighting for the yellow t-shirts. Even as of now, you go around, people are wearing our t-shirts. Not only in Ghana, abroad. So there's something mystical and magical about that. So people will come and ask, so how is it that you got the votes that you got? People ask. We have not talked about it. We will talk about it in good time. Because if you deny 95% of our polling agents around the country, 95% of our polling agents, you refuse access to them to go to the polling station to observe the vote. How many votes do you want to be able to get? After 5 o'clock, we're all sitting, waiting to hear the results. And people calling from all over the country. Hey, Maza, Major Police Station. You are about your can't you see a zero. It is talking about resilience. What we are doing, is it not showing resilience and endurance? So don't joke with the butterfly. And of course, the colors of the UP are yellow, representing the gold resources of Ghana, not the Galamsey gold. The black is representing the Black Star of Africa. So when we say our vision is to make Ghana the economic powerhouse of Africa, this is what this means, the Black Star of Africa. And the white represents purity. We are promoting ethical leadership. Many of our people don't even need to be in politics, but they want to prove a point. It's only ethical leadership and integrity that can turn our country around. You've also been told that our values are based on the original UP tradition, but we have moved on further to become what we call a centrist party, or in other words, a center party. The NDC is center-left. It's a center-left party. The NPP is center-right, a conservative party. We are a center party in the middle. We bring everybody together. Fellow countrymen and women, the great transformational plan which we developed under the Movement for Change, and which has been widely acknowledged all over the world. All over the world. If you get the chance to read the GTP, you make sure that the United Party becomes the next government in Ghana. Because we already have a plan. We already have a plan. But because we think about Ghana first, that is why after the elections, in spite of all that happened, which I've explained to you, I've only opened the lid a little bit. In spite of that, because we believe in Ghana first, I went and visited the president and said, here you are. This is the key to the transformation of Ghana. We believe in Ghana first, so make use of it. And it reinforces our belief in Ghana first. Now, if you look at the GTP, now I'll just say a few words about that, because I want you as Ghanaians to appreciate that it is not just a question of forming a new party, but the policy initiatives that we have espoused are relevant today and will be relevant tomorrow. Stabilizing the macroeconomy is very important. And when we talk about stabilizing the macroeconomy, we are also looking at reducing our debt levels. People don't realize that we have not even started paying our debt. 2026 to 2028, that is when the debt burden will start showing. All the loans that we are taking over the years, that is when we'll start amortizing the loan. So you have to start thinking about what is going to happen within the next couple of days. And I could go on and on and on, but I think that we've kept you here for too long. But just also to mention that on industrial development, we will prioritize the development of the 10 strategic anchor industries that we have listed in the GTP, and with the vision that Africa, by 2040, that Ghana will become the new manufacturing hub for Africa. Ghana will become the new. You see, it doesn't happen by chance. We talk about China. Everybody is running to China. But remember, China turned around only in the early 1990s. Early 1990s. That is when China opened up to the world and started real, what I call real manufacturing. 1990, beginning of 1990 to now, they are the second most powerful economy. So there's hope for Ghana, but it is only the United Party that can lead that transformation. On the agricultural front, the UP will aggressively promote the development of cash crops. You see, you can't have agriculture that is only based on food security, food just eating and becoming satisfied. That is important, but that's only the first step. You have to promote cash crops, which is what is going to bring value to farmers. And once you bring value to farmers, they will increase their production and productivity. And also you reduce imports and be able to accelerate exports. So it's very important. One major initiative that we will introduce when we come to power is to prioritize the establishment of what we call licensed private food marketing and distribution companies. The reason why food prices are high is because there is no sanity in the space of food marketing and distribution. It is a loose arrangement. But in the UP government, every district will have a licensed private food and marketing distribution company. You all remember the old days of food distribution company, but that's not government's responsibility. If you license the private sector, you give them the support, give them the trucks. Every district, they will bring all the foodstuffs from the farms to the market centers. So this is going to be a major part of what we do. Even if they steal it, because we promote Ghana first, it's good for Ghana. But this is the key. Because if we introduce this, it will facilitate the supply of food, it will reduce the cost of food, and then we'll be able to even have more to export. On the education front, the UP will focus on building the skills for the future and directly align our educational curriculum with our national development needs. The people we are training now do not have jobs because the skills they are acquiring are not what our industries require. True or false? Yes. So now we have to do that alignment. And the focus in education will now shift from theoretical book knowledge to practical knowledge based on competencies and skills. We are going to have a situation after 2028, in 2029, where young people, your children, after SHS, will prefer to go to a trade school than to go and do a degree in a university. Because that is where the employment is going to come from. In the health sector, the primary objective will be for us to introduce what we call universal health care. Universal health coverage that will guarantee health coverage for all citizens. And we'll focus on preventive health, primary health care, what we call the GP system. In advanced countries, every neighborhood, there's a doctor who is assigned. So you don't move from your neighborhood, say you want to go to Kolebu. Your neighborhood is assigned a private medical practitioner that goes to your house. That, I'm sure some of you know about this system. So that's what we are. And then also focus on traditional and herbal medicine. Whether we like it or not, currently 60 to 70% of our Ghanaian population, they only use herbal and traditional. Are you aware of that? So we must make sure that we reinforce that as part of our health system. Public housing, it's also very important, and I think that it's a priority that now the United Party, I want to listen to this very carefully. The United Party will also aggressively promote a Pan-Africanist agenda, because like Nkrumah said, the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked with the total liberation of the continent. At that time, he was talking about the decolonization effort. Now, we've gone past decolonization. But for us to become a prosperous continent, Ghana alone cannot be prosperous amidst poverty in the continent. So we have to tie our approach together. And that's what Pan-Africanism is about. And a UP government will make sure that we lead that effort in Africa. Now, details on how we implement all the things that I've said are all outlined comprehensively in the GTP. And I don't want to go into details. But everything that I've said here, the details are in the GTP. And anything you have not heard from me today in terms of policy, such as on energy, infrastructure, digitalization, tourism, the environment, the creative industry, local government and decentralization, governance, peace and security, you will find all that in the GTP. So here we are. Fellow countrymen and women, the United Party is the future of our country. And it is our fervent hope that the UP will bring renewed hope for a united, peaceful, secure, and prosperous Ghana. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you.
All right, abusiafo enti da munyina ase nia opese wo kire wa adwen fa on nsem no aboboso na doso indi komo comment section Alan Kwadwo Chamatin ni new political movement and oma pound mano Kwadwo Ghana TV ni bidi komo achiri. Bye for now.